But that one was the one, but it was for the wrong, it had the wrong result. It made him a very, very dangerous man. And, you know, you could see how intense he was on wanting to go out there. And even when he was throwing in early in the fight, when he was throwing counter punches, I've never seen him throw with that kind of, like Mike Tyson used to say, bad intention.
Any kind of success or any kind of result, especially after that performance. Usyk's getting better and better. He just improves every time he fights, and now he's bigger and thicker set, 20 pound heavier tonight than what he was.
In the latest training footage, Oleksandr Usyk appears nothing short of phenomenal, displaying a level of form and intensity that sets him apart from any other fighter in the division. His training techniques are not just intense, they're completely unorthodox, almost mystical in how they sharpen his senses. Observers say his vision during sparring seems almost superhuman, as if he anticipates incoming punches milliseconds before they're thrown. His body movements remain steady, deliberate, and almost ghost-like in their fluidity. This rare and disciplined approach to preparation is exactly what makes Usyk such an elusive and frustrating opponent in the ring. He doesn't just defend, he dissolves his opponent's offense. His style makes it nearly impossible for anyone to figure him out, let alone dominate him. Daniel Dubois, the skepticism surrounding him was heavy. But instead of folding under pressure, Usyk put on a clinical display that completely flipped the narrative. His footwork was flawless, his timing surgical, and his ring control masterful. Analyst Russ Somber noted that Usyk came into this bout not just looking for a win, but determined to silence every last critic. And he did, controlling the tempo, breaking down Dubois methodically, and reaffirming that his skills are not fading but evolving. This fight wasn't just another win, it was a resounding declaration that Oleksandr Usyk is still operating at the very peak of heavyweight boxing.
I was surprised.
Yeah.
I was surprised because I had never seen him so intent on wanting to knock somebody out. You know, like it's the quickest knockout he scored, I think, in his professional career.
Yes,
I'd
even
have to
at
look at
cruiserweight.
it. Yeah, I'd have to look to be sure, but you know, it's the quickest knockout he scored. He was a man on a mission.
Yeah.
He was really personally hurt and offended by the remarks made by Team Dubois, by George Fox, Don Charles' son, by Don himself. I think the straw that broke the camel's back was questioning Usyk's fate.
Yes.
Now you could question a lot. You can question his skill, question boxing, or whatever you want. Questioning his fate, bro.
Yeah.
That was something that really hit a chord, and you don't often. You know, Tyson Fury couldn't get to
He tried every
Usyk
head
mentally,
game in
right?
the book.
But that one was the one, but it was for the wrong. It had the wrong result. It made him a very, very dangerous man, and you know, you could see how intense he was on wanting to go out there, and even when he was throwing in early in the fight. When he was throwing counter punches, I've never seen him throw with that kind of, like Mike Tyson used to say, bad intentions.
Yeah, bad intentions, yeah.
He was throwing with bad intentions, yeah.
Usyk's greatness transcends the ropes. At a point when most fighters would prioritize career and legacy, Usyk made a life-altering choice. He chose to defend Ukraine when war erupted. While others took shelter, he stood tall, wearing his nation's flag with pride. This act earned him profound admiration. He earned it with grit, sacrifice, and unshakable loyalty.
Usyk's involvement in the war began when he enlisted in the Ukrainian Territorial Defense Forces after the Russian invasion. His decision to fight for Ukraine has had a profound impact on the country, making him a symbol of hope and resistance. Usyk's presence on the front lines has boosted the morale of the Ukrainian military and civilian population alike. So this man kept his heavyweight championship, continued to be heavyweight champion, no losses, nothing on his record, and still went and defended his country during war. given that, you gotta give him the greatest heavyweight fighter of all time. His accolades inside the ring match it. But now that I find this out, that the man was in the front line, and they said that even after the Fury fight, he was keeping in contact with the soldiers, and he was, you know, boosting the morale and boosting his countrymen and raising money for the war, regardless of the politics, whether the war should be going on or not, and who should be killing who, it don't matter. The man went to war.
Carl Froch, a respected voice in boxing,
Than what he was when he beat Fury, which I said earlier. He just looks like a big, solid heavyweight, big, solid, dangerous heavyweight. But I'd like to see him retire. He's 38 years old. Eventually, it's going to catch up with him, the age, and there's nothing left to do. He's made an absolute fortune, and he don't need it anymore. He's done it. He's clocked it. He's completed it. It's like he's got the cheat code, and it's like it's not fair on everybody else. So I'd like to see Usyk retire. Let me know in the comments who you'd like to see him fight next. Somebody like Moses Atoma, I just don't think is going to be ready. I think if you're managing Moses, you need to take your time with him. You can't be chucking him in there. People say, yeah, chuck him in there with him, fight him, see how he goes. If he gets beat, he's lost to Usyk. But it could destroy his soul. It could take away that young, promising prospect that Atoma is. He could have a good future. And to fight somebody like Usyk now, if he got wiped out and got disheartened, it could be the end of his career. So I just think Usyk now, really, nobody can say anything to Usyk if he retires now after that win. He's done everything there is to do. Fury twice, AJ twice, now Dubois twice. There's nobody else left to be. He's done it. Usyk should just hang the gloves on. He's been a fantastic addition to the heavyweight division since coming up from cruiserweight. He's been absolutely brilliant, and what he did tonight against Dubois was nothing short of just... He made it look easy, and I don't want to disrespect Daniel Dubois, but he just made it look easy, and he does make rounds look easy, doesn't he? Whoever is in with, whether he's in with Tyson Fury, whether he's in with AJ.
and for more mindset.
And well, here it is. Here's your world title shot. You're going to fight for a world title, right? But if you're Joseph Parker, and I spoke to Andy Lee, it isn't just a case of fighting for a world title. You want to fight the #1 for the world title, and that guy is Oleksandr Usyk. So, yeah, there must be loads of conversations going on right now. Loads of conversations. I did say this the other day, and I don't know, sometimes I'm like, you know, when I was in the ring and I was interviewing Oleksandr Usyk, I was desperate because of my love for Joseph Parker. I was desperate for Joseph Parker to get... I know he got in the ring after, but I'm talking about on the zone. So whilst everyone is still in the stadium and everyone's still tuned in, I was desperate for him to kind of just jump in the ring. I was desperate for him to do it. Chisora was trying to do it. So Chisora knows how to play the game. And as much as people are like, what's Chisora doing? Chisora's, well, look, Chisora won't get the fight, but that's kind of what you got to do. And I know people are like, well, 1 second, it's not like that. It's rankings. Well, no, it's not though, is it? Because, again, Oleksandr Usyk can vacate the belt. He can say no. You have to kind of do what Daniel Dubois did last time. Daniel Dubois, rightly or wrongly, got in the ring, pissed Usyk off. Usyk's like, okay, we'll fight then. Fuck it. If this is what you're doing, dude, we'll fight. And I felt like there was a time where I wanted Joseph Parker to almost nudge me. And I'm telling you now, you know, we're kind of told not to give the mic. I don't know if you see, I always hold onto the mic. I would have given Joseph Parker the mic. And I would like Joseph Parker, because there's a mean side to Joseph Parker. I think everyone sees the friendly side. I've seen the mean side. And I wanted Joseph Parker to say, I want my shot. You've been ducking me. All these things might not be true, but do it. Sell it. The crowd would have gone a bit wild, right? Because I think a lot of the crowd want Joseph Parker to get his shot. But that's not what happened. And all of a sudden, you're seeing Jake Paul in the ring doing a face-off. You're seeing all these, and I'm like, where's Joseph Parker? Where are you, Joseph?
It's not shocking that boxing minds are beginning to draw comparisons between Alexander Usyk and Muhammad Ali. Though their styles differ, their essence, their mastery of the sport carries a shared greatness. Both fighters possess rare ring IQ and the ability to mentally outweed opponents before landing a single blow. Their genius lies in how they manipulate rhythm, angles, and timing, turning the fight into a chess match. Usyk, like Ali, confounds adversaries not with brute force, but with subtle misdirections and feints that leave them swinging at shadows. The comparison isn't rooted in fame or celebrity, it's about their ability to control the fight and redefine what greatness looks like inside the ropes.
Interesting heavyweight division, guys. Let me know what you guys think. Let me know what you guys thought of Usyk's performance, where he ranks on the all-time list. I know, everybody was big into their nostalgia, But remember, Soviets were not turning pro until the 90s, and I think that makes a big difference. That's another thing. Heavyweights are bigger. Lefties are more common now, and also the Soviet era of fighters did not start turning pro until the 90s. So the old days, they didn't have to deal with those guys. So a lot of things that also favor Usyk being a GOAT. But of course, you know, man, it's hard to pick against Ali.
Roy Jones Jr. didn't hold back his praise after watching Usyk dismantle Daniel Dubois. While Dubois had size and punching power on his side, Jones noted that his strategy was far too elementary to challenge someone as cerebral and technically flawless as Usyk. Jones emphasized that physical strength alone isn't enough. To even survive against Usyk, a fighter must possess adaptability, mental discipline, and an intricate game plan. Usyk studies his opponents the way a grandmaster studies chess, anticipating moves, analyzing patterns, and striking with perfect timing. Jones highlighted that unless a fighter brings near-perfect execution, they're already defeated before the bell rings. His brutally honest take underlines the massive divide between good and truly elite heavyweights. Usyk doesn't just beat fighters physically, he breaks them psychologically. According to Jones, that mental dominance is what truly sets him apart.
Usyk, what did you make of his display against Daniel Dubois last Saturday? It was something else, wasn't it?
Yeah, I mean, it was, but it was nothing less than I expected, because if you make a guy quit with a jab, Spencer, you know this, if you make a guy quit with a jab, how is that guy ever going to beat you? You understand me? I mean, that's just what the real facts are. Not that the kid hadn't got a little bit better. He got a little more confidence because he had a win over Joshua, which was good, but confidence is just not enough to beat a guy like Usyk. You got to have some technique. You got to have some grit. You can't lose to him with a jab and think you're going to beat him. That's not going to work.
Well, you was a smaller guy that went up and won the world heavyweight title, one of the only ones to do that from middleweight up to heavyweight. You know, how does someone beat Oleksandr Usyk? Is it the smaller guy? Is it the guy that's coming up in the weight divisions, you know, as opposed to the bigger heavyweights?
No, the bigger guys could beat him, just gotta have the right fight plan. None of these guys fighting with the right fight plan. And I'm not gonna tell them the right fight plan because that's not my job to do. But you gotta have the right fight plan to fight with. If you don't have the right fight plan, you're gonna destroy.
What truly elevates Usyk above many reigning champions is his approach to the game. Despite holding multiple titles, he has never shown even a hint of arrogance. He prepares for every bout as if his legacy depends on it, showing relentless focus and respect for every opponent. That humility fuels his consistency. Unlike others who become complacent after a few victories, Usyk can stand across the ring.
What are the dangers that Daniel Dubois brings to you this time?
Daniel, young guy, Daniel dangerous every time because this guy have good punch and good boxing skill, but I must be careful because it's boxing. But I prepare for this fight.
Will you stop him this time, do you think, or will it go 12 rounds?
Listen, I prepare every time on 12th round because we with my coach, with my team, we prepare 12th round. But if I have chance, I do it.
Do you believe you will stop him?
Usyk's transformation from cruiserweight champion to dominant heavyweight force wasn't simply about gaining weight, it was a full-scale reinvention. He didn't just bulk up, he refined his technique, timing, and fight strategy to handle bigger, stronger foes without compromising his natural style. His back-to-back victories over Anthony Joshua stand as proof that he didn't just adapt, he evolved. But Usyk's heroism isn't limited to boxing. When his country was engulfed in war, he didn't retreat to safety.
But he must go away and make the adjustments, do some learning, but that can only happen if he can let go of his dad. And I mean, when it comes to the boxing, the fact of the matter is, if his dad was good enough for the job, he would already be in his corner. Oleksandr Usyk, 3-time undisputed champion of the world, there's no doubt in my mind, he takes the #1 spot for pound, and not forgetting, at 2 different weights. And it's not just that, it's the fashion in which he does it. It's clinical. He cleaned up in the amateurs, then the pros. He's just built different. He's been fighting the best, no questions asked. going into the lion's den time and time again. His wins are so clean, he's not in wars, he takes care of business, comes back like he's been to the shops, and amongst all of this, he's been to war. The way he carries himself is impeccable. I couldn't think of a better man, a person, to represent the sport of boxing. He's beaten the best at heavyweight, not once, but twice. AJ, Fury, and now Daniel Dubois. At this point, I just feel he should retire. He's got nothing to prove, and I felt this way after Fury 2, after beating Daniel at 38. What's left? Let me know what you think. Please let me know in the comment section. I love to read them. And don't forget to like and subscribe.
Paulie Malignaggi's admiration for Usyk revolves around his intellectual dominance in the ring. Unlike fighters who rely heavily on brute strength or flashy footwork, Usyk blends timing, control, and spatial awareness into every movement. His footwork isn't just fancy, it's strategic. Every angle he creates serves a purpose. It opens new attacking options or shuts down his opponent's offense. Over the course of a fight, these subtle shifts gradually exhaust and frustrate his opponents. Malignaggi believes Usyk represents the future of boxing, a version where intelligence and technique outweigh raw power. In that future, Usyk isn't just surviving, he's leading the charge.
Match stops him early. Was it 4 or 5? I don't even. I'm so caught up in the moment. I don't even know which round it was. It was 4 or 5. But man, it was in the first half of the fight. What a performance by Oleksandr Usyk. And a lot to discuss here, guys. A lot to break down here. First off, Dubois much more successful in the first fight than the second fight. Was the wet ring? Did the wet ring have anything to do with it? I saw in the post-fight interview, Dubois was asked about why he couldn't land his jab. What do you guys think? Was obviously Usyk's gonna make some adjustments. I think the adjustments are gonna be made in rematches. But did the wet ring? Because I thought the wet ring had a big part to do with why Usyk had some trouble in that first fight. And a wet ring hurts footwork guys more. I was a footwork guy. I've worked out sometimes in wet rings. It's frustrating. I've actually thrown temper tantrums in gyms over rings being too wet. So back in the day, not now. But what I'm saying is, to fight in a wet ring, that had to have some effect on Usyk and his footwork, because he's a footwork guy. And tonight you just saw his footwork was stupendous, magnificent. Dubois tried to come out pressuring. But what he tries to do, he tries to create that panic in you, because he's a puncher, so he tries to create that panic to where you start moving too much, and especially at an older Usyk, maybe he'll get tired out by moving too much. But Usyk keeps his steps, his moves so short, so tight, and because they're short and tight, they're not burning a lot of energy, number one, and number two, he's able to throw punches off those moves because they're in so tight that he doesn't really lose the punching distance and punching range, on top of always being well balanced when he makes that side step. He likes to make that side step a lot to the right-hander's weak side, and he was doing that very, very well tonight. A lot of times he'll make that side step without punching. A lot of times he'll sidestep as he's throwing the left hand. Then he varies the left hand with a straight shot around the side. I think that's a really sneaky shot against opposing stances. I used to like to use it against southpaws as well. That wide right hand against southpaws. Obviously, the southpaw will like to use it against right-handers. Sometimes that wide left hand. Sometimes people say, throw straight right hand against a southpaw. For a southpaw, throw straight left hand against a right-hander. But if you mix them and sometimes throw it wide, obviously calculating your distances correctly, it can have a lot of effect, and also it can prevent the opponent from getting not just a timing, but also a anticipation for your backhand punches, because sometimes they're coming straight and sometimes they're coming in from around the side. And I think Usyk really masters that very well. That was a punch actually Pacquiao knocked out Hatton with.
That's it for today's video.
Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel. For more exciting videos, make sure to hit the bell icon and stay updated. Subscribe to Boxing Hub now for all the latest in boxing.